As we know, on Chanukah there were two very big nisim. The first being the Nitzochan HaMelchama, when Klal Yisrael defeated the Yevonim at war. And the second nes was the nes of the Pach Shem, and after the Melchama they came into light. As we know, the Pach Shem and the one flask of oil lasted an entire 8 days. These are the two nisim of Chanukah. And yet, Hagam, we spend every night lighting the candles, we sing, we say brachos. Such an emphasis and a focus on lighting the Neres Chanukah. When it comes to davening the Ala Nisim, not a word is mentioned of the Nes of the Pach Shemin. We speak about Giborim Biad Chaloshim, Rabim Biad Miatim. We speak about being victorious at war, the Nitzochan HaMelchama. Mamash Nes, Barichus Gedoyla, at length. And yet not a word is mentioned, not even at the end, about the second Nes, the Nes of the Pach Shemin. We're here to give Halav Haidah, to say Ala Nisim, and thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the Nisim of Chanukah. We leave out the Nes of the Pach Shemin. What's even more interesting is, we do talk about coming into the Beis HaMikdash and lighting the candles, the Neres, after we won the war. We talk about it, but we don't mention a word that it was a miracle. That's all we see in Ala Nisim. They lit the candles. Make up your mind. Do you want to talk about it? I think you should. If you're not going to talk about it, why are we talking about it and yet avoiding, talk about the lighting the menorah, but avoiding the actual nes? The Pshat is as follows based on a Maral in Chanukah. Maral says as follows. He asks the obvious question. We understand why we needed to win the war, why we needed a nes to win the war. The Melchama. The Yevonim were torturing us. They were oppressing us. Beruchnius, begashmius. But why did we need that second nes? Why did we need the nes of the Pach Shemin? Yes, the oil was tummy, but still, Tumah Hutra B'tzibur. Chazal tell us that when you have a korban of a tzibur, like lighting the menorah, which was something that was incumbent, a chiyuv on the tzibur, then there is no issue with lighting it when it's tummy. So it wasn't even important to have tahar oil light for 8 nights. We had plenty of oil. It was tummy, but plenty. Halachically, we could have lit the menorah with the tummy oil, the impure oil. So why is it, asks the Maral, that we even needed the nes of the Pach Shemin? Says the Maral, you're right. We didn't really need the nes of the Pach Shemin. But we needed it for a different reason. We won this war, we were victorious. It was a miracle. Giborim Biad Chaloshim. We were few, they were millions. Rabim Biad Miatim, strong, weak. It was impossible to win this war. It was mamish and nes. But there were no outright miracles that happened in this war. It wasn't clear. People could deny it. Was it really a miracle? Maybe they had a lot of courage. And they put in a lot of koyach, a lot of strength, a lot of rotzain, and they won the war. They got lucky, but there were no outright miracles, nothing supernatural, mi'al teva. So someone might think after this massive nes, was it really a miracle at all? Says the Maral, as soon as he came into the Beis HaMikdash, which was really the finale, as we say, the Makah Bepatish of the Melchama. Why did we win the war? What was the point of winning a war? So we can say, we won the war. No, it was so we can go back to living life as Yidden again. Not hiding in the caves, we can do the Avodah, the Beis HaMikdash. So the point of winning the war was to come to the Beis HaMikdash and do the Avodah, light the menorah. So says the Maral, as soon as we were about to finish off the Nitzochan HaMelchama, the Tachlis, the Matara, the goal of the Melchama, which was to do the Avodah, Hashem says they're going to make a miracle mi'ala teva. With the Pach Shemin, it's going to last, it's going to be clear. How's it going to last? It's a miracle, everyone would see. But why did Hashem do it? People are going to say, you know why he did it. To show us, just like this lighting of the candles was a massive miracle, it was only here to reveal to us that the Nitzochan HaMelchama itself was also a miracle. So by us coming to the Beis HaMikdash and finishing off and celebrating somewhat, winning the war by lighting the candles and doing the Avodah, and Hashem made a miracle, that was just to show us. Just like the lighting of the candles was done through a miracle, you were able to light with Torah oil, pure oil, for 8 days. Likewise, that miracle in the war was in fact a miracle. If it wasn't clear to you, Hashem says, I'm making it clear now. So it comes out according to the Maral, what was the point? What was the point of the nace of the Pach Shemen? Why are we lighting the candles every night of Chanukah? Not really to celebrate the nace of the Pach Shemen. It's really here to celebrate the nace of winning the war. The nace of the Pach Shemen that we celebrate and we light and we publicize, Pirsum HaNace, every night of Chanukah is just here to reveal to everyone, just like that was a nace. Likewise, the Nitzachon HaMelchama, winning the war, was also a nace. Lefiza, we understand very well why not a nisim. There's not a mention of the miracle of the Pach Shemen. Because if it's outright clear that we won the war as a miracle, because we go through the Al Nisim at length, and what do we say? It's a miracle. The many in the hands of the few. We're speaking it out explicitly in the Al Nisim. It was a miracle. Is there any need to mention the miracle of the Pach Shemen? Of course not. At night, when we light the candles, we're trying to show and publicize by lighting the candles, there was an ace of the Pach Shemen, so it would help us realize that winning the war was also a miracle. But when we're saying Al Nisi, we're saying, thank you Hashem for this massive miracle in great detail of winning the war. There is no need to mention the second miracle of the Pach Shemen. Because if things are clear, and there are no doubts, because I'm speaking it out explicitly, then we can understand why there's no need to mention the nace of the Pach Shemen. This explains to us as well why it is. The question's been asked already. Purim, we sit, we get drunk, we eat. That's the mitzvah sayoim. Chanukah, okay, we eat, we have our donuts, we have our latkes. But the mitzvah sayoim is not that. The mitzvah sayoim is l'hoides l'hala. Why? What's the difference? Lefidas Maharal is beautiful. The whole idea of the Yom Tov is about publicizing, making sure that things are clear, that Hashem made a miracle. L'hoides l'hala. We're supposed to thank Hashem for the miracle. The idea is to make it clear, to make it public, to make it clear to everyone. So let me ask you a question. If we're all sitting around and eating our sufganiyot and we're having our latkas, we're enjoying. Is it crystal clear that we're expressing through our eating that Hashem made massive miracles? Not crystal clear. You might be thinking about it when you're eating, but it's not crystal clear that the reason why we're eating is to express and to publicize the beautiful nace of Chanukah. That's why Chazal were Mesakin. The whole Yom Tov is about publicizing, making clear that this was a miracle. The war was a miracle. We light the Pach Shemen. It's just a way to reveal to everyone that the war was a miracle. Then it's got to be clear. The whole Yom Tov is about making things crystal clear for those who don't get it. Hashem says, here's the Pach Shemen. Let's make it clear. And the other way to make it clear is not by sitting around and eating. The way to make it clear is by speaking out clearly with your mouth. Now I'll just end off with one last point. So what's the idea? If we're not mentioning the miracle of the nace of the Pach Shemen, what's going on? Why are we mentioning? So we hinted to the idea before. Why are we even mentioning the Avodah? Because we have to realize we're expressing thanks, not for winning a war. What's the point of winning a war? We feel great, we feel strong, we feel mighty. The point of winning the war is that we can go back to life, as you mentioned before. But the beautiful part of Chanukah is we haven't had the Beis HaMikdash for years. We haven't had the chance to learn Torah, to daven, to do anything for years. Chanukah is about starting again. Renewal. Hischachos. Starting all over. We're also celebrating the idea that Klal Yisrael had a chance to go back into the Beis HaMikdash, inaugurated Chanukah's HaMizbeach, Chanukah's HaBeis HaMikdash, to start over, purify it all over again, to do the Avodah again. There's a special Simcha on Chanukah. It's a Simcha of renewal. We don't have the Beis HaMikdash. But the koyach that was given then, which was giving Klal Yisrael a chance for the first time in so many years to start over, to live our lives as Yidden again, that special schus we have and we celebrate every single year on Chanukah. Now's the time if a person is looking for clarity. He's looking to start again. He's looking for his chachos in his avodas Hashem, renewal. Now's the time. Now there's siyata d'shmaya. Now's the time to begin. This explains to us also why it is that we do mahadrin min mahadrin. We don't find in many halachas that we're so into doing all the hidurim and all the chumras. There are people who do chumras no matter what. But when you talk about the regular people in Klal Yisrael, we don't talk about mahadrin min mahadrin. Like this many candles. everyone should light. We don't find a mitzvah like this. If you look in the Shulchan Aruch, there's not a word mentioned of, by the way, if you want, you could be Yaitzi by just lighting one candle a night. Not a word mentioned. He goes straight to Mahadran Min Mahadran, to lighting every night. Everyone should light 8 candles. The last night, 7, the 7th night, etc., etc. Do the best. Why is it? Because when you want to start something off, when you want to start again, Klal Yisrael started all over again. It was a time of renewal. It was excitement. We won the war. It was time to start all over again. When you start, it's got to be giving all your koiches, giving it all. If at that beginning stage you give it your all, you don't think about any leeways, any way out. You think about going for the top, for the best. If you start off that way, you're not meant to continue that way. But if you start off that way, you're guaranteed that your avodah throughout will actually remain strong, will remain fresh all the way through. And there's a beautiful story to illustrate this idea. There was a bar mitzvah bacher sitting, it was a beautiful simcha. It was time to bench, and the minig is by a bar mitzvah. Who do you give to bench? Who does the zimun? The bar mitzvah bacher. So bar mitzvah bacher apparently was coming from a very choshev family, and who was sitting at the table? Who was on his left? The Shabina Rav. Who was on his right? The Belzer Rebbe. Okay? They're filling up the kais. Rabbi Yisrael Nevarich, Rabbi benching. They Hashem Oizlam Oyitzin Shevorach Sama Bashom. They finish benching, and the boy starts drinking. Now we all know what's the halacha. How much of the kais do you have to drink? The halacha is a majority of the shir called a revius. Well, they look of a cheekful, one of your cheeks. That's how much you have to drink. The boy drinks it. Great. It was wine. It wasn't grape juice. And we were assuming he was going to put the cup down. The Belzer Rebbe tells him, no. Keep on drinking. Okay, there's another chumrah. You drink the entire revius. The Belzer Rebbe says, no, continue a little more. Shbina Rav's eyes are popping out. He said, what's going on here? Never for this boy, the wine. Leave him alone. This is chumras habachumras. But he figures he's going to stop by the revius. Rav kois. Okay, stop. The Belzer Rav says, finish that kois. Finish it. And you put your finger inside and, get out the little drops too. Maybe he told him to. And Shbina Rav, because he had such respect for the Belzer Rebbe, he didn't say a word. But he was definitely flabbergasted and shocked. So the Belzer Rebbe was very smart, and he told the Shbina Rav, you're probably wondering why I made this nebuch, this bar mitzvah bacher suffer and drink the entire cup of wine. He says, because this is the first day he's becoming a bar chayuva. It's the first day he's coming to Kayim mitzvahs. It's the beginning. In the beginning, if you want to guarantee a future, the beginning's got to be perfect. How do you make it perfect? Don't be samech on any kulas. Don't look for the easy way out. Just the beginning. Go with all the chumras. And that's the beauty. We have the beginning, and we're all doing the chumras. We're all doing mahadran and mahadran. That's what we do. And it's a beautiful time. It's time for renewal, and it's a time to appreciate the fact that this is what's going to guarantee our hemshech. And I want to add one last thing. There's a shayla in the halacha. What do we, not so much of a halacha shayla, we say ala nisim. Do we say ala nisim or ve ala nisim? I'm aware, I think Nusach Ashkenaz doesn't say with the vav. Nusach Sfar, I think, mostly says with the vav. Meaning, after we're done saying moedim, do we say ala nisim? We say ve ala nisim. What's the machlokes? Mishnah actually happens to say, you should say it with the vav. What's the idea? What's the idea? So I believe the idea is as follows. Mishnah is telling us, if you go into Chanukah and you just start talking about and praising Kadosh Baruch Hu for the nace of the Pach Shemen, the nace of the war, you missed the point. You missed the point. The point of Chanukah is not about Chanukah, it's about after Chanukah. This is just the beginning. If you can't make a connection, if you don't have that vav, if you don't connect the yofi, the beautiful miracles of Chanukah, to those everyday occurrences and miracles that we just said a moment ago, if you don't make that connection, you're not going to go anywhere. Chanukah is going to be beautiful. What's going to be after Chanukah? You can go back to the regular life. The Eitzah is ve'alanisim. If you want to make the proper haschola, you want to make the proper beginning, you want to guarantee it's going to last, the Eitzah is, when you talk about those miracles, you think Hashem, with it, you think of for the everyday miracles we experience. This is a great way to begin. If we can begin this way, appreciating the miracles, the nisim of Chanukah, and making a connection between those nisim of Chanukah, and appreciating just a little more to me to wake up in the morning, to be able to learn, to daven, and have such an amazing kollel here. What is schus? To have an or HaTorah in the darkness outside is beautiful. this is just one way to begin, with an extra push, an extra chizuk. If we can begin again now on this Chanukah, this is the time to appreciate new beginnings, then we're guaranteed Emir Hashem with adding just a little more to our beginnings, trying to make a little more perfect than it was until now. We're guaranteed Emir Hashem that the Hemshech is guaranteed as well. To enjoy, appreciate, and take Chanukah past Chanukah throughout the entire winter.